Welcome back, guys, to episode 47 of Sharpen Your Sword podcast. Like always, guys, I appreciate your support. I appreciate you guys supporting us, watching the podcast, telling your friends about it, and sharing it, okay? This podcast is designed specifically for you guys, okay? The idea behind Sharpen Your Sword is to make it a lifestyle. The body and the mind are swords, okay? Just like past day warriors, okay? Like the samurais, they carry two swords for battle. Today, you carry two swords for battle, okay? And that's your body and that's your mind, okay? And we created this podcast to talk about this and get you guys to see the truth behind how can we become better for this life? How can we become the most optimal? We just want to shine light on this lifestyle, which is getting up every day and sharpening your swords on a daily basis. Doesn't matter if it's a little bit or a lot. The main thing is you sharpen your body every single day and you sharpen your mind every single day. And today we have a very special topic, a very unique topic that's been with me for a very long time. Okay, this is how I live my mind, how I live my life, and a little bit inside of my mind. And how powerful this is to me. And I've had it since the days that I was at my lowest and I struggled a lot, okay? And like always, I'm with the number one co-host in the world, Giovanni Jimenez. What up, Giovanni?
Hey. It's awesome that this is episode 47. 47 is my favorite number. And I remember when at one point in my life, I started seeing 47 everywhere. And, they say your frequency is what you frequently see. And so I think this goes big with the mindset of the podcast is if you're negative, all you see is negativity in the world. And if you're a very positive person, you have a strong mindset, all you see is opportunities to become stronger and positivity, even in the not so favorable circumstances. So I'm very excited for this one because this is my favorite number.
Let's go. This one, I told Gio, I'm going to try to make it through the podcast with no tears, guys. I'm going to just be transparent with you guys. This one touches my soul, okay? This one touches my heart. It pulls on my heart, okay? This one is a wake-up call for every single person watching. Let's put it that way. This is a wake-up call for every single soul that watches this episode, that follows this podcast, guys. This is for you. I'm talking directly for you, whether you like it or you don't, okay? This one has been with me for a very long time, okay? I'm going to give you a little bit about me. If you didn't watch the early episodes, okay? Ever since I was a young man, okay? Very young man. I'm still a young man. I'm not 30 yet, okay? But to put in perspective, I've been working for over half of my life, okay? I've been working for over half of my life already, and I'm not even 30, okay? So I gave up my youth, and I have no regrets. I gave up my youth, and I gave up the good times for a greater purpose, for a greater cause. Okay, and some people look at it as like a pitiful thing. Some people look at it as a sad thing. Some people look at it as a bad thing. Okay, it's my life. I appreciate the journey that I've been given. I appreciate the journey that I went through. I'm very grateful for it, and I don't regret any single part of it. Okay, but the big but is on this long journey, I learned a lot. Okay. And one of the biggest things that I learned was living life. What is living life? Okay? This is episode 47, guys. Episode 47. Stop surviving and start living. All right? And most people don't live. Most people, and if I say most people, guys, I'm talking about 99% of the population. Most people survive. Okay? And this is one thing that I preached to Gio early on when he started working with me. And I preached to a lot of people. Is what is it that we want when we get to our deathbed, Gio?
You want us, and when you get to your deathbed, there's going to be a list of regrets. And the goal is to make that list as small as possible.
That's exactly the way I like to live and have my mindset is every single person will face the deathbed. Every single person will taste death. Doesn't matter who you are. That day will come. And when that day comes, and you're laying there knowing that your time's up, And you can't say, I love you one more time. You can't give that hug one more time. You can't go after that dream that you had. You can't give your wife and kids the life that you wanted to give them. Okay? When you couldn't do none of that, all of that is going to come to your mind. And it's going to be on that list. I should have, I could have, done this, and I should have done that. And my goal, and I want it to be your goal, is to make that list as small as possible. And I truly believe if that list is extremely small, then you lived a life, you didn't survive a life, you lived a life with fulfillment, with passion, with love, with empathy, sympathy, everything.
100%. You want to thrive, like we talked about in the last episode, like in the battlefield, right? Like you don't just want to survive in the battlefield, you want to be thriving in the battlefield. And but can you define what is survival mode? What is survival? What is it? What does it look like?
Survival mode is being on the hamster wheel that we've talked about multiple times on previous episodes, multiple episodes. Is living the same damn life over and over again. You're living paycheck to paycheck. You're living on the same routine, which routine is not bad. But the routine that I'm talking about is being the NPC, the non-playable character. The guy that's in the shadows, the character that's in the movies, the background characters. Like you got the main character and then you got everybody else behind them just walking in the distance. Mm-hmm. Okay? That's survival mode for me. Why not be the main character in your life? Why not be the main role player in your life? Okay? Instead of just waking up every day, doing the same thing over and over again with no urgency, with no desire, with no drive to live life, to attack the day, not survive the day, to go after the day and make it count to where you get to have the life that you want. You get to live the life that you want. You make that list of regrets smaller by the time you get to the deathbed. But it's not doing the same thing over and over again, which is wake up, go to work, or wake up, take a shit, eat breakfast, go to work, come back, do the same thing, go to sleep, and do that every single day. And you might have a wife and kids. You might have that wife and kids. But what do you do for your wife and kids in the morning? Are you doing the bare minimum? Are you saying, hey, here, bye, I love you, boom. It goes from I love you to love you. It goes from kisses on the forehead and kisses in the morning and hugs in the morning to just a bye. Then it goes to from kisses to a bye to a text message later on when you get to work without saying anything in the morning to your wife and kids. Because you're going through the motions. Now, I don't have a wife. I don't have kids. God willing, one day. But this is the patterns that I see watching people. Mm-hmm. You have this thing, and then it becomes a normal thing, and then you start going through the motions. And you do this with your wife, with your partner, with your kids. You do this with your job. You just get your hours in to get the paycheck. You don't like to go to work. You're not excited to go to work because you don't love what you do. Okay? You're just in survival mode all the damn time. You are doing the bare minimum. I believe if you're in survival mode, you're doing the bare minimum. Now, this is an extreme mindset. But it takes an extreme lifestyle and an extreme mindset to live life and not survive.
100%, It is like, in this society, in America, I love America. America is the greatest. But the way it's almost built, it's built to throw you into the machine, right? And you notice it, most young people, if you talk to high schoolers, right? Full of dreams. They got the little star on their eye, right? They have big hopes. You talk to them 4 years later, 10 years later. It's like that life, the soul they had in them, like just sucked out, right? And but why is that? Why is that though? Why is it that people just get stuck here? And why is it so common?
People get stuck here for many reasons, right? Because it's hard. The truth is hard. The recipe is simple. We say it over and over again. The recipe is simple, but it's not easy. The recipe is not that hard. You just sharpen the sword. Personal development. Trying, caring, giving just a little bit of intention. Giving a little bit of more drive. Right? We know what the recipe is. People can write many recipes on happy marriages, how to raise a family, how to have kids, how to have a good business, how to love your job, how to find a job that you love, how to live life. You can find courses on this. Buy my course for $29.99. You can find plenty of this. They can write it out. But it's not knowing what it takes. It's doing what it takes. That's the difference. And so that's why most people are breathing. They're alive, but they're just breathing. You know? They are breathing in the sense that their heart is pumping. They're alive in the sense that you are in front of me, you are alive. You know, your heart is pumping, you have oxygen. Yeah, you are alive. You are breathing and you are alive. But are you truly alive? Are you truly alive? You can look at a flower. The flower is a blueberry bush. Okay? The blueberry bush is alive. It's green. But there's no blueberries on it. It's alive, but is it truly living? Are you truly living? You might be breathing. You might be alive in front of me. But are you truly alive? Are you truly living your life? Okay? And this is everybody's wake-up call. You have to take a moment of your day and think about this. Yes, I'm alive. Thank God. I'm on this side of the dirt. I'm on this side of the dirt. I tell people text me. Sometimes I wake up to a text message from people I know. Coach, how you doing? Mo, how you doing? I'm doing good. I'm blessed to be on this side of the dirt. Even though I do believe heaven is much greater. But right now, God has me here. So I'm blessed that he has me here. I'm blessed to be on this side of the dirt. We're on this side of the dirt. What are we doing with it? Because again, the day is coming. You will be put 6 feet under the ground.
Yeah.
Your heart will stop pumping. You will have no oxygen. Okay? And so you knowing that day is going to come. Guaranteed. This is a guarantee. This is what drives me crazy, right? This is what gets me going. This day is guaranteed going to happen. There is no maybe. This is going to happen for sure. What did you do up until that day?
Yeah.
As a 24-year-old, about to be 24-year-old man, what did you do in your youth right now? You have big things coming for you. Okay? What did you do to make it count? What did you do to make it to make it a life? To live it. Not to just go by it. Let me wait for Friday. I have to survive until Friday. You hear this all the time. I have to survive until... Why the hell are you not living today, Thursday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Now people are like, oh, this guy's optimistic. This guy is so positive. I'm trying to be. I know this day is going to pass.
Yeah.
I can't get yesterday back. And I know tomorrow is close. And I know the end of my life is close. It's coming. So what am I doing? Again, we said it before. Do you want to be the one that walks this earth that just leaves footprints that fade away? Or do you want to leave the footprints that stay, like when they go look for the dinosaurs? They find the fossil. Are you going to leave a fossil?
Yeah.
Are you going to leave a print on this life? I believe if you leave a print, then you lived. Okay? Are you going to leave a fossil for your wife and your kids and your great-grandkids and your great-great-great-grandkids? Are you going to leave it for your bloodline? Because if you don't get to live, they don't get to live. If you don't live life, they don't know. They didn't see somebody that can teach them to live life. They're going to go by it just because you went by it. They're going to follow what you did. They don't know any better. People don't know any better. You look at 8 billion people, most of the population is surviving life. Everybody you talk to, they're looking for the one-hit wonder. They're looking for Friday night. They're looking for the concert. They're looking to have to take their spouse to a concert for them to enjoy time together instead of enjoying time together over a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Or living in the moment together. We are together. We are here. Why not enjoy it? Okay? And this is the biggest problem. People don't recognize this. And ever since, like I said, I was working over half of my life. I was working on the streets. Okay? I was surviving back then. That's why I know what it tastes like. For a long time, for maybe 10 years, I was just in survival mode. As a young boy, put it that way. Not as a man. It's different when you do it as a boy and you do it as a man. I believe when you do it, you have to survive as a boy. It hits you different and you connect different. There's one thing that I kept telling myself back then. I didn't have it. I knew one day, God willing, I'm going to have a wife and kids. Is I'm going to make sure that we live life. That's it. I'm sitting here in the sun, in the heat, outside, trying to make this living because I want to live life with my family. And I want them to live life. And I want that list to be as short as possible because I know that day is going to come. And that's why I got my ass up every single day. Whether I liked it or I didn't. With purpose to win. With purpose to attack the life. To attack the dream. To attack the day. Not to survive it. I was talking to somebody yesterday and I said, the problem is when you can't turn the switch off or you don't want to turn the switch off, like you're always go, 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 is when you stop. If I stop, I feel like I'm not productive. I feel like I'm not truly living. I feel like I'm surviving. And if I think I'm surviving, then I get in my head and it drives me crazy. Okay? And most people can't recognize this because they don't know how to go, go, go. Yeah. They don't know how to go after that life they want. They're just in survival mode. They're the fish in the fish tank waiting for feeding time. And it swims in circles in that damn bowl until it dies in that bowl.
That's powerful. You know, they never get to break free from that. And that was actually a very powerful visual. But, you know, what is the high cost of living in survival? Obviously, one of the biggest things is you're going to have a long list. You're going to have a Santa Claus long list, right? And like we were talking, right? It was like, when you have this long list, it is so, so crushing. You know, you have all these, there's all these videos and there's stats, and we're going to pull them up here a little bit, of all these regrets, right? I remember one time seeing a video of like these old people. They were asking them like, what are your regrets, right? And they were going through the regrets. Man, I just felt so sad. I'm like, damn, bro, like kind of felt bad for them. I'm like, damn, it sounds like you didn't really get to enjoy life. Like you said, like literally just swim like they're just like treading water. Like that's all that happened. And you never get to really go into the ocean and explore it and see the beauty of it, you know? And the reality of life isn't fair, you know? Freedom ain't free and life ain't fair. And you have to break free from the tank in order for you to enjoy freedom, right? But what are some of the biggest costs, right? The biggest cost, especially as a man, obviously women listen to the show, but as a man, what is some of your biggest costs when you just live life in survival mode for you, for your family, and for your legacy?
Legacy is a whole different topic. You want to get me talking about legacy, right? You're never going to have a legacy. Let's start with that. That's the cost. You will have no legacy. Who the hell are you? Who's Grandpa Gio? What did Grandpa Gio do? What did Grandpa Gio leave for us? And it doesn't have to, people think right away, it's like, people jump, oh, you're materialistic. Forget the materialistic. Put the materials aside. Forget the money. None of what I do today is for money. None of it. None of it. Now, when I was young, they called me Mo Money, right? I wanted Mo Money. That's it. That's all I wanted. Everybody around me knew that's all I wanted. I wanted to make more money. That's the only thing I cared about. I was attached to the dollar. I was driven by the dollar. This is just facts. This is truth. I'm not going to hide it from nobody. But as I went through the journey and I struggled and I fought every day to go to work and I fought every day to try to live life, I realized life is not about money. Okay? So it's not about materialistic things. Life is about the precious moments, the precious people around you. Living life with them. Giving them something, giving them a drive, giving them passion, giving them purpose. Okay? Leaving a legacy. Leaving something behind. I told somebody this yesterday morning. Everything what I do now is to leave it for my great-great-grandchildren to see that there's hope, that Grandpa Mo did it. If Grandpa Mo did it, I can do it. If Grandpa Mo lived this life, I can live this life. That's my grandpa. That's my blood. He's not going to look at another person. That's not his blood because he's not going to relate to him. That's leaving a legacy. right? That's leaving something behind. So one of the costs is you don't get to leave that behind. And forget the great-great-grandkids right now. Leave it for your wife and leave it for your kids. What do you leave for them? Are you the superhero in their book? Are you? Mm-hmm. Right? Most people can't say yes. Most people will say yes out of ego and pride. But are you truly the superhero in their book? And did you, as a man, because as our man, as a primal instinct, do you protect, do you have that to protect him from this world, to protect him from survival mode? Because there's nothing worse than a woman in survival mode. Mm-hmm. There's nothing worse than that for a man. If your wife goes into survival mode, you're in trouble, buddy. If you're by her side, you're not a man. I'll tell you that myself. If your wife goes into survival mode, you're not a man.
Yeah.
If you're her husband, because it's your job to protect her. It's your job to provide for her. And if a woman goes into survival mode, that means you're not doing your job. That's what that means. So as a man, that's one of the biggest things. As a man, if you're not living life, right? And living life, guys, is not just let me enjoy it, let me party, let me go here, let me go there. No. Living life is you being the sharpest sword for your kids, your wife, for yourself, for your community, for your country, for everybody. That's living life. Okay? That's the biggest things that I want to talk about. Now, everything else, everybody else feels it. What do you tell me about jobs yesterday at our meeting? You said all these people, X amount of people, 80%, 90% of people hate their jobs or something like that, you told me. Mm-hmm. Why are they there? They want to get the paycheck to survive. They're dying a slow death every time they go to that job. They may make more money than us. Yeah. But we're living our life. And God bless. Thank God for everything. Not everybody can do it. But you can do a lot, guys. It's hard for me to believe not everybody can do it. If you knew me back then you would know why my mindset is that way. I believe you can do it. I believe anything that you want can be achieved. People may call me a lunatic. People may call me crazy. Anything you want can be achieved if you do the work. Everything can be achieved. In America, almost everything can be achieved. In America.
100%. You know, on the podcast, we've had countless guests, guys. They have come from nothing and they've risen up to the top for their own definition of success. And we can see success in them. And these are just multiple people from all walks of life, all heights, all kinds of skin colors, all backgrounds. If they've been able to make it, right? If you can make it, you can make it in America. Of course, like today, you said something powerful. You were like, nobody said it was going to be easy, right? This is what you wanted, right? Here it is, right? And so one thing you notice a lot in people, it's what gets to them is the fatigue. They fatigue. And when they fatigue, they go back to square one. They go back to autopilot. And they kind of forget their purpose. So what is your go-to routine when the fatigue starts accumulating? Because it accumulates on everybody, right? Now most people, they either go to bad vices or they go back to square one, right? So what is your counter towards that fatigue of life, to the responsibility of work, to sharpening your sword physically, mentally, to having your wife and kids that rely on you and you have to be present for them, right? To all these relationships. What is your response to that? How do you counter that fatigue?
I mean, not to make this people have, I don't look for pity, right? I don't look for any sad stories. Everybody hits this fatigue. I hit this fatigue started a few days ago. And I told you on the way here. And I told myself, this is what you asked for, buddy. Now you start shaking and quaking in your boots. Now you start getting cold feet. This is what you always talked about. Now you're here facing that thing that you're going after. And now it's extremely hard and it's killing you and it's running you down. And some of the dreams that you want, you don't have yet. And so the fatigue is setting on me. the crushing like hopelessness is starting to set in a little bit. This happens for everybody. I don't care how sharp you are. Now I counter that with my purpose. Go back, Mo. Remember when you're 15 years old, sitting outside when it's freezing cold and your hands are bleeding from your hands being so dry. Go back and think about when your hands were so cold, when somebody gave you money, you had to go turn the truck on to unnumb your hands, to unfreeze your hands so you can count the money. Go back to that day and think about it. Think about where you are today. Is it hard? Yeah, it's still hard. But this is what you dreamed of. That's why you did that. That's why you're sitting outside in the freezing cold. Can't count money. You had to turn the truck on to thaw your fingers out so you can count money. And that was a true thing. That happened in North Memphis. Okay? And look at you today. It's a different kind of hard. But this is the hard that you dreamed of. You actually are going after the dreams that when you were 15, 16, 13, 14 years ago, thinking about today. And now you're here. It took 14 years, but now you're here. Now that you're here and you're fatiguing and it's getting hard and it's trying to crush you, you're going to stop? What happened to all the talk? What happened to your dreams? What happened to the vision? What happened to you living life? What happened to you leading from the front? What happened to you being a sharp sword? What are you going to tell your future kids and your future wife? I quit? Well, I'm sorry, honey. I'm sorry, Yabba. I couldn't do it for you. Is that what you're going to say? Right? Because if that's what you're going to say, stop right now. That's fine. You know? For me, that's what it is. So, for me, I talk to myself because there's very few people around me that can give me that information, that give me that talk to myself. And yesterday morning, I made a turn. I said, that's it. This is what you want. I tell you guys to embrace it in jiu-jitsu. Embrace it now. Embrace. You know what? It's hard. Go harder. You know, I told myself this yesterday. Life is tough, but I'm tougher.
Yeah.
Okay? So for me, it's self-talk. Getting myself realigned with my purpose. Getting myself realigned with my dreams. Picturing it in my head again. Knowing why I'm doing this. I'm not doing this for money. I'll say it again. I don't care about money no more. Right? This has nothing to do with money. Right? It has nothing to do with material. This is something to do with what I asked for. It's to live. It's to get to that deathbed with no regrets. My goal is to have 0 on the list, not small. My goal is to have no list. That's my goal. And my goal is to do that so my kids and my wife can have that no list. So they can have the no list. Because they had somebody that's sharp around them that can do it. And this is my biggest driver.
100%. You know, and there's a famous Marcus Aurelius quote where he says, imagine you die today. Look at the life you've lived. Now go on and live your life. Right? It was like, you think about it, you analyze like, dang, where have I been slacking? Where am I missing? Right? And the truth is, when most people think they're going to die, when most people imagine I'm going to die of old age, right? I'm going to die of gray hair. But you never know, right? You might get caught at 35. You might get caught at 20. You know, unfortunately, that's just how life is. When it's your time to go meet God is your time, right? So, but then you got the people, you know, to play devil's advocate. Well, if I'm going to die, right? You got the nihilism thinking. If I'm going to die, why push hard? Why not just indulge in hedonism? Why not just indulge in pleasure? Why push hard? Why go through the fatigue? Why hurt? Why not just enjoy it? Because I'm gonna go anyway. Why work so hard for all this stuff if I can't take it? If it's gonna fade away?
So what do we say to them?
Yeah.
Say you're a piece of shit. Honestly, because you're folding, you're quitting. Because here's the thing, you look at resumes. When you hire somebody, you look at resumes. You see, well, oh, this guy did this. This is accomplishments. Okay? Now, not every accomplishment you're proud of, not all experience you're proud of. I've experienced things, I've experienced the pleasure. I'm here to tell you, it's not all that. There's nothing beautiful to it, in my opinion. It lasts a few minutes, a night, 2 nights, a week of partying, whatever it is that you do. You get high, however that high lasts for you. You get drunk, however that lasts for you. But you know why most people do that? Because they're running. They're running from something. They're not living life. They know they're not living life, so they're masking it with something, and they have to do something to make them feel good for that moment. Don't take it from Mo. Go study it. Why is there so many addictions here? Porn addictions, alcohol, drugs, tobacco, partying, scrolling, binge watching, food. Why is there so much addictions here? Why do you think there's so much addictions here? Nobody's living life with passion. Everybody is in survival mode. And like I told you, when I say most, I'm saying 99.9% is in survival mode. So that person say, why? Because why are you doing this? Why are you, the same question I'm gonna give you is why not? You just ask me, why should I do it? Why not do it? Do you not want to live your life? Do you not want to leave something behind for the next generation? Or for your loved ones? Do you not want to feel the true happiness? When I tell people you want to truly be happy, true happiness. When you're not attached to the thoughts of the outside world, the opinions of the outside world and people, minus your loved ones, your wife and your kids. You find true happiness because of what you do, your passion, your drive, your purpose. Every human being has a purpose. If you're surviving, you have no purpose. You're not using that purpose. Okay? So those people that you're talking about, they're surviving. And if you're surviving, you're a liability. You're not no asset. You're not an asset to yourself. You're not an asset to your wife and your kids. You're not an asset to your local community. You're not an asset to your country. So what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What are you doing?
100%. People that I've talked to that think like this, guys, I noticed one thing was in common. They had an addiction, and it wasn't just drugs. They had a negative mindset, and they were down low. When you start thinking like that, like, what's the point of this life if I'm going to die? When someone says that, they're down low. Big time. They're in despair. They're in hopelessness. Because at this point, they're like, what's the point of living? You know what I mean? What's the point of living? It's to live, you know? What's the biggest price you can pay, man? It's your life. Like, I was thinking, one situation happened on the news. This one guy died, and it was a young man. I'm like, damn, bro, this guy will never get to have kids, never got to have a future, never got a career, and all this stuff, right? Like, man, that is the worst. That is just sad. Never got to experience that again, right? And so life is beautiful, guys. Life is meant to live. So if somebody is talking like that around you, they're a peer, you know, you better run for the hills.
Let me ask you this, Gio. What do you see the cost of it is? Because now I feel like you've become super aware the last couple of years. And you started to recognize people's patterns, like the one you're talking about right now, right? You're recognizing it more. What do you think the cost of just surviving is? You see it around us. We talk about it almost every week, me and you and I.
Yeah.
Right? What do you think the cost is?
Well, I think one of the biggest costs is enjoyment in life. When you survive, you don't enjoy life. You're just surviving. You're pulling through every day. You're pulling through to live for the weekend. And you said it one time. You said, when you're surviving, you are living the same day every day. Okay? Living the same day every day. Now, we all have routines, and some things have to be true. But think about it. If you're living at a job, working at a job you don't like, you are living the same day. You're hating every day. That's going to lead to depression. So you have no joy in your life. If you have a wife and kids, because I can imagine this, it's even that's going to suck. because you already have no joy, right? You can't give them what they want. You can't give yourself what you want. You can't give your parents what you want. So, no happiness, no purpose, which is one of the biggest things. You have no purpose. Why are you here for? That's when you start thinking, like, what's the point of me being here? What's the point of living? Because you have no purpose. There's a purpose for you. You just haven't found it yet. I believe God gave everybody a purpose. You have no happiness. You have no purpose. You have no dreams. Everybody has a dream. You sacrifice your dreams. You sacrifice your youth and your life. And the list goes on and on. But these are the biggest things. No happiness. No purpose with goal attached. No, that's the biggest thing. No happiness, no purpose, man. If you don't have purpose, you won't have happiness. And if you can't enjoy life, no matter how your kid will not bring it to you, your wife will not bring it to you, because it all comes from inside. And when you just survive and you're just barely pulling through and you're not living life and enjoying to wake up and live it, this will rub off on them. And like you said, yesterday you told me, you said, like, your kid will be a reflection of you. That's exactly how it is, you know? So not only did you F up your life, now you're effing up your spouse's life, you're messing up your kid's life, and they're gonna go on, and they're gonna, because hurt people, right? So they're gonna go on and continue that cycle in this world. So not only did you come here, but you freaking came here and you didn't plant, you put, for example, instead of putting beautiful sunflowers, right? You came here and you put poison ivy into the world. And that poison ivy is going to spread. Like, that's despicable, you know? And so I see that as the biggest sacrifice, man. It's, you sacrificed, at the end of the day, you sacrificed your life.
Very powerful, Giovanni. Very powerful. And guys, make sure you watch to the end, because this is something very powerful I'm going to say at the end. Okay? I'm going to try to say it without choking up. But take a moment, and I want you to think about this, right? I probably should have announced this at the beginning of the episode, is ask yourself this. If your life ended tomorrow, would you say you truly lived, or we just got by? I'm asking you that, Gio.
Yeah.
Did you truly live, or you just got by?
I think...
be honest.
Yeah.
Be honest.
I think I'm like...
And it can be mixed, right? Because you still, God bless you, God give you more health and life. You're still early on.
I think I lived half my potential. I think one of the biggest things, and this what stops people and what stopped me, was fear, you know? Fear, breaking down, is false expectations appearing real. And I think I let fear stop me. I think I let fatigue stop me. You know, I think fatigue stopped me for big potential. I think fear stopped me, not embracing my fears, not going after it as I should have when I had the chances. And so, yeah, if I would have died there, of course I would have regrets, right? But I would say that in my youth, I would say up to this point, I have not completely wasted my youth. You know, thank God I found jiu-jitsu. I wish I could have trained more jiu-jitsu when I first started it, right? I wish I could have let go of certain things that were holding me back much sooner. But that's the biggest thing. It's not being myself, not being true to who I really was. You know, not doing what I want to do, not being who I really want to be, for the fear of judgment of others, for the fear of judgment from my family, and the lack of, how would I say, as a young man, the lack of confidence that I had to be able to truly do what I wanted, you know, just to be free. And I think I should have dealt with that much sooner, right? And I should have toughened up much sooner. So I think when I was able to get rid of that and I was able to slowly just be who I am going to be, because at the end of the day, everybody suffers from caring what others think. the reality of it is, if you're in your deathbed, you're gonna think, man, who the fudge cares what so and so thought? You know, where are they now? Right? But maybe you thinking about what so and so is gonna think, that stopped you from being great or being better. You know? So I think is that it's caring too much what people thought, not being true to myself and doing what I really wanted, not chasing my purpose in life. But I will say I am grateful that I found jiu-jitsu and that I was able to, and I didn't quit jiu-jitsu. I think at the end of the day, that gives me a lot of pride. That brings me a lot of joy. And I think the fact that I do martial arts and I will give that to one day to my kids. And then I hope that my kids will give it to their kids, right? So let's say even if I don't become rich and I can't leave them a big plot of land and stuff, right? God willing, one day it will happen. But even if I can't do all that, I know that at least I gave them martial arts. At least I gave them the tool and the ability to be able to become strong. You know, what did great grandpa Gio leave us? You know what? Maybe he didn't leave us a motherfucking $50 million estate, but he left us with the ability to become strong through martial arts. You know, and to me that's badass, right? At least I'll leave you that, homie, right? And so that's the biggest thing. It's don't let fear stop you. Don't let what other people think stop you, and be truly, truly, truly who you are. Not who your parents want you to be. Not who you think society wants you to be, but be who you want to be. I think if I was in my deathbed, that's what would go through my mind.
Very powerful, Gio. So we're gonna take a moment and do the exercise real quick. That is what I asked Gio. If your life ended tomorrow, do you say you truly lived or just got by? Ask yourself that. If your last day is today or tomorrow, ask yourself, did you live or you just got by? Okay, everybody, do it now. All right? The second part, you're on the deathbed. That's it. That day has come. Okay? What kind of life would you have been proud of to have lived? What is it? If you were to picture it, what is the perfect life? Okay? So ask yourself, what regrets do you have? Do you have regrets? Have you lived or you have regrets? Did you just survive or you lived? And then ask yourself, if I had the perfect life, okay, I would have been proud to have lived this life. And it's ABC, whatever it is that you put. Ask yourself this and write these down, guys. Write it down where you stand now, especially the young folks, okay? If tomorrow came by and your life ended, ask yourself, have you truly lived or did you get by? Okay, and what are your regrets? Have you truly lived or did you survive? What are your regrets of what you did not get to do? Okay, now on a different piece of paper, if you were to, what kind of life would you have been proud to live? If you're laying on the deathbed and you said, man, only if I went to Alaska, only if I went to Paris, only if I went to wherever it is. This is the perfect life right here. With so-and-so, with this and that, with this amount of money, with these cars, if you like the materialistic stuff. But write that down and see what you come up with and compare the two lists. And let's see what you come up with. And this is one easy way that you guys are gonna make that list shorter. Because you might have a long list if you're young. You might have a very long list. And now if you live the perfect life, you might start scratching things off that list. I'm like, man, if I do this, this, and this, that's what it says on this piece of paper. I would have been proud to have lived this life. And it's on the list. Let me get after it. Let me do it before that day comes. Let me put one foot in front of the next until that day comes.
Powerful. And I want to read some stats. So these are things that people regret the most, okay? This is from old people who lived a lot of life. It says, not spending more time with loved ones. That's a big one, of course. Not taking risks That was one of mine. Not taking enough risks. Being held back by fear. Not expressing themselves, right? Not being who you truly are to yourself. Working too much. Now, this one, I say, working is not bad. I think what they really mean is working too much in what I don't love. Working the job that I don't like. Getting paid well, but I hate every second of it. Not living my purpose every day. Not excited to wake up. Of course you're going to regret that, you know? You work 8 hours a day, at least 40 hours, right? Now, in the podcast repeat, you got to work more than 40. Because you said 40 is just surviving. And the reality of it is, 40 is just surviving. You know, how are some people able to work 50, 100 hours, right? What would working an extra at least 20 hours do for you in your life? It would do a lot. But working too much and what you don't like. So these are some of the biggest regrets, guys. And what people regret, which is sadly is far too common.
Yep. One very powerful quote, guys, is you don't want to realize at the end of your life that you survived every day, but you never really lived one. Okay? You survived every day, but you never really lived one. You survived life, but you never got to live life. Okay, guys? And so this is a very important thing, guys. Don't survive. Live your life. Live your life. Go after it. Okay? Let me ask you this question. What is it that you are putting off? Okay, what is it that you are putting off? Something that you want to do. Okay? What is it that you want to do that you're putting off for a different day? Okay, for a different time. A dream, a goal, whatever it is. Something that you want. Okay? But you're putting it off to say one day. I told some young guys yesterday. They weren't young. This guy was 31. I thought he was 18. But I told them, I said, look, it's your choice. One day or day one. It's your choice. You can start today. Today's your day one. Or one day. One day I will do this. One day I will do that. One day I will do this. Next thing you know, you're laying on the deathbed and you say, only if I did that. Okay? So what is something that you're putting off that you wish you have done? Ask yourself that. What is something that you want, Gio, wish you have done?
Worked harder.
Worked harder in which way?
In my youth, exhaust myself to the point where I could, you know? I'm already here. I'm already about 24 years old, right? Should have fucking pushed the limit to what I could, man, because all that taking breaks and stuff, not pushing it to the limit, that served me no good. What is the purpose of you holding back? I'm here at 24, wishing I could have pushed more. Now, I don't want to be at 30 and thinking the same thing.
Hey, what's wrong with 30, cuz?
No, I'm just saying, my progression. I don't want to be at 30.
I'm not 30 yet, but I'm saying.
I don't want to be at 30 wishing that I should have pushed more these past 6 years. So I should have pushed harder. I should have kept dreaming. That's the biggest thing. You kept dreaming, kept that twinkle in my eye, you know? Now I got it back. But I will be honest, at one point in life, I lost it. And I got it back, thank God, right? But it's that. Keep dreaming big. Keep thinking everything can be possible. Think like a 5-year-old, not a 50-year-old. A lot of 50-year-olds, they're all grumpy, all battered by life and got nothing good to say and just get off my lawn type of vibes, you know? Just dream big and believe that it can happen and push to the most you could.
Mm-hmm. That's very powerful what you said, because everybody had that twinkle at one point, twinkle in their eye. I remember twinkle left me. It came back, thank God. But the twinkle in my eye was like, man, this is what I want. 1, 2, 3. This is what I want. 1, 2, 3. That was a twinkle in my eye. I'm gonna be a jiu-jitsu black belt. I'm gonna be an MMA fighter. I'm gonna be a businessman. I'm gonna own this. I'm gonna own that. I'm gonna have this. Right? But life removes that twinkle from your eye. Mm-hmm. Okay? And you have to catch it. You have to realize that's what's happening. That's when you start going into survival mode. Because I'm a dreamer. My imagination, thank God, is powerful. right? I think about it like, man, I start thinking about it, my eyes start shining. I start smiling.
Yeah.
Right? That's what's making me happy, thinking about the things that I want, my dreams. Why not go after it? If that's what it takes, go after it. You know what it is. You know? So what are you putting off for someday, guys? Ask yourself that. What is it that you're putting off? And go after it. The other thing is ask yourself, what is it that you're accepting, you're tolerating, that's draining you, that's killing you? It may be the job. It may be the people around you. But what is it around you that's draining you, that's killing you? Get rid of it. Because as long as you have that, you're still in survival mode because you're attached to something. You think that you have to have that to make it. Okay? Stop postponing joy. Stop waiting for permission. Okay? Again, the clock is ticking. What do they call the things with the sand in it and you flip it up?
That sand clock, I don't know.
Sand clock, whatever it is. You know, I love these sand clocks, right? It's full of sand. On the bottom, you flip it and it starts clicking. It's about the time is running out, right? And it seems super slow at first because so much pressure with all the sand. And then it goes to the end and all of a sudden it was going slow and then it empties. Okay? And I've told people this. I'm about to be 30, guys. Big 3-0 here in a couple of months. You're going to go from 18 to 30 like this. And you know what the 40, 50, 60-year-olds told me? You're going to go from where you are to where I am like this.
Damn.
It's easy going. It's smooth sailing at first. And then the responsibilities in the life come in. And then you go into survival mode. And then what did I tell you? You go into survival mode. I told you this early on. You go into survival mode. Next thing you wake up, 5 years have passed. 10 years have passed. Now you're 30. Or even worse. You're an 18-year-old with a twinkle in your eye, and now you're 40, 50. The midlife crisis. And that happens. So many people don't get to wake up until they're 40, 50 years old. And right away, the regret sets in. I should have done this for my spouse. I could have done this. I could have done this for my kids. I could have done this for my family. I could have went here on vacation. I should have took them to Disney World. I should have bought them this. I should have said I love you one more time. I should have hugged you one more time. I should have went after it. I shouldn't have cared what all these people said. Why do I care about all these people, what they have to say? This is my life. Why not live it? Why not go after it? Instead of attaching the rest of my life to a few years remaining, doesn't matter how young you are, it's few years remaining and you're gone. You're wiped from this earth. And live your life. Don't attach it to politics. Don't attach it to people. Don't attach it to material. Don't attach it to the temptations of this life. Don't attach it to the sins of this life. Don't attach it to the pleasure of this life. And as in pleasure, I'm talking about like the bad stuff. But try to find a true purpose, a pure purpose. A meaningful one that's going to make you live. Okay, it's going to take you from the flower that's drained and is dead. And then the sun hits it and it stands up. Or some water hits it and it stands up. Mm-hmm. So what is it that's going to make that happen for you? Because most of us are this flower that doesn't get no sunlight, doesn't get enough water. Just whatever. I'm going to keep making it. The leaves start falling off. He's getting closer to his death. Or the tree, the beautiful tree that was once super strong, and the strongest winds couldn't knock it down. And then it's surviving life. The limbs start falling off. The branches. It starts with the small ones. And then big branches start falling off. I watch the trees in my farm. Okay? And I had a tree, I'm not even kidding you, over probably 15 feet in diameter. Over 15 feet in diameter, which means if we get like 6, 7 guys and we put our hands together, we probably won't wrap around it. Okay, and this tree fell down. But before this tree fell down, the leaves died off, the green died off, the little branches started coming off, or twigs, and then the smaller branches, and then a little bigger branch, and then I see a branch about this damn big come out. Because you're talking about if the tree is 15 foot in diameter, imagine the branches on this thing. Some of the branches on this thing are like this wide. And then I see the branches fall off. Okay? And then the tree starts rotting from the inside out. And now, right now, the whole damn thing came down crumbling. Crumbling. Not like in one piece. Crumbled. It rotted from the inside out. And that tree is probably 300-400 years old. And every time I ride past it, or I walk to it, and I look at it, and I'm like, okay, that tree lived for 300-400 years. I don't get to live 300-400 years, but I use it as perspective. Are you surviving life, or are you living life? Mm-hmm. Is that going to be me? Is that how I'm going to crumble? Is that how my family's going to crumble? Okay? And so, same thing, guys. As human beings, you rot from the inside out. Your leaves fall off. That smile goes away. That's your leaves going away. The twinkle in your eyes. That's your branches coming off. Same thing. Okay? So you need to ask yourself that. Mm-hmm. What are you going to do to change that? What are you going to do? Answer those 3 questions I gave you earlier. Okay? Now, let's talk about, let's get try the brighter side. Is what does life look like? Real living. To you, Giovanni.
Yeah. Well, from the other side, right? Past the storm, it's a life of purpose. A life where you wake up excited to go to work. A life where you're surrounded by people that you love and that you enjoy being around of. It's a life free of vices. A life of purpose at the end of the day. It's you enjoy what you do. You look forward to every day and you spread positivity, and you dream big. To me, like I was telling you, right? Like I said, when I get my low rider, you better watch out. But at one point I was down low, right? And we've all been down low. Everybody has a story. But I could see my perspective, same person, my perspective in life. And then once I was able to put myself out of that mental cage you put yourself in, right? Of despair, of hopelessness. And then you get to live purpose and you get to live life, Live a life, you're enjoying life. You enjoy every day. Not just Saturday, not just Sunday. And then hate life Monday through Friday, right? Monday all the way up to Friday afternoon after you clock out, now you start enjoying life. That's hell. That's hell on earth, to be honest. And about 80% of the population, studies, 80%, really it's like 99%, are living like that. You want to live life where you can enjoy it every day, no matter whether you're broke, whether you're rich. Because you could be rich and hate life. You could be broke and hate life. You could be middle class and hate life. It's living the life that you're excited to get up and live, man. That right there is where it's at. Now, obviously the money and all that stuff, now that's the cherry on top, that's extra. But if your happiness you can't wake up happy, then you're not living life, man. Even like you work, right? Yeah, you wake up, you got work on your mind, you got stress on your mind. But at the end of the day, these are good problems. You're happy that you have these problems, right? Because if you go far back enough, there's days we had other problems, right?
I agree.
And you weren't happy with those problems.
Yeah.
Right? So talk to guys at the gym and tell me, man, I got this going on, got this stress going on. I'm like, yeah, man, that's tough. You're like, these are good problems, right? You're like, yeah, these are good problems to have. God bless, right? You could be a junkie on the street, talk about problems, right? So that's when you wake up enjoying your life, man. You're not saying you're winning. Now let's add even more winning, right? Let's sharpen the sword mentally, physically. Let's get some money, right? But when you live your purpose, you have happiness. When you have happiness, it will spread throughout your surroundings. And so it will just keep spreading. And next thing you know, your whole world is full of joy, sunshine, and rainbows.
Yep, I agree. Living life, guys, is doing what you love every day, right? Enjoying it, not dreading it, not waiting for Friday, not waiting for Saturday. But I don't want to go to sleep to run away. There's been days I went to sleep to get away from the day. I'll be honest with you. There's been days I'm like, I'm going to sleep. I can knock these 8 hours out, 10 hours out. Let me run away from my problems. I wake up and like, here we go again. Okay? How many people go through that? Because I know it's not just me. And I love what I do. Thank God. God bless. Right? And God protect it. But not running away from those problems. Living with a purpose and going after that purpose. Doesn't matter whether it's big or small. If you think that this is your purpose on earth, you need to go after it. Because if you don't, it's going to eat you up. Okay? That's where you find that fulfillment. Living life, not surviving, is having fulfillment in the things you do. The things that you have and the people that you have. Okay? Because it's not just things you do or things you're going after. It's who's around you. Am I happy to be around Giovanni? Do I feel good energy, good vibe around you? Yeah, I do. That's why you're around me. That's why I'm around you. Otherwise, I won't be happy. Mm-hmm. Do you help at the academy? You run the academy? Absolutely. You do a good job? Hell yeah. But if you're not a good person, you don't have a good soul, don't have good energy, don't matter how good you run academy, I'm not going to be happy. I ain't going to be around you. I don't want to be around you. Are you that way with people? I'm living life with Giovanni. I'm living life with the people I love. I'm not just surviving with the people I have around me. That doesn't mean I love them. Just surviving with whoever's around me. My friends, my associates, my co-workers, my boss, politicians. Okay? Living life is me living my life. With no noose around my neck because of what she thinks or he thinks or what this job has me do or what that job has me do or what these regulations are. Is I go to sleep happy and I'm not in a rush to go to sleep to run away from my problems. And I know I'm waiting for the next day to come. I'm not in a rush for it, right? Because I know I'm getting closer to my deathbed. But when I wake up in the morning, it's a good life. Thank God. It's good to be alive. Not wake up and like, damn, here we go. Fuzz, I gotta go to work. Let's go, baby. Let me go do what I want. Let me see the loved ones. I can't wait to wake up to my loved ones. I crave that. I want that. I want to wake up the next day. It's not that I go to sleep. Damn, I gotta do it again. Damn, I gotta do it again. Is it Friday yet? Is it Saturday yet?
Oh, God.
Do I get Christmas break yet? Spring break? Oh, 3-day weekend? You know what I mean? That's survival mode. Why not? And this is extreme, guys. This is extreme mindset. But it's possible. And a lot of this is, I keep saying mindset. It's how you perceive things. How do I perceive what do I have? Some people have so much, but they don't perceive it as so much. So it's rotten. It's not enough. Some people have so little, and they perceive it as so much, and with so much gratefulness, that it's so much in their eyes. And it makes them so happy, but it's so much, so little. Doing minimal things, small things. So is this you or not you? Are you waking up? Are you following your dreams? Are you following your purpose that you believe you're put on earth for? Are you excited for the next day? Do you not want to go to sleep because you're enjoying the people around you and enjoying the things that you have? Are you not running away from conversations because you don't enjoy the people? Or are you talking to them all damn day? This all goes into it. The things that you do, the things that you want, the things that you think, and the people that you have around you. Okay? That's living life. Real life happens in the small moments, not the big milestones. In the small things. That's living. Is when you're enjoying the small things. Okay? When you don't get to enjoy the small things, you're waiting for that big moment. Oh, Christmas is coming, which is not about religion. I'm not talking about this. But it's a big holiday. Everybody's going to be together. Thanksgiving is coming.
Yeah.
Oh, man. There's going to be a lot of dopamine, a lot of oxytocin, people hugging each other. I love you. I'm very thankful for you. Boom, boom, boom. For a week. Why not live that every damn day? Is it kind of unrealistic for some people? Yeah. But I don't believe that. That twinkles in my eyes.
Yeah.
That's the small moments that we live for. That's living life. Is the small moments on a daily journey. Not a monthly or quarterly or holiday schedule. That's living life, is in enjoying the small moments. Okay?
Powerful.
think about what you guys are doing. This is the exercise. I'm going to leave you here with this very powerful quote that I'm going to try not to choke up on. But look at your life, guys. How do you feel about it? Are you living or are you surviving? And be honest. Nobody has to know this. This is between you and yourself. Do it in the early morning. Do it in the mid-afternoon at a sunny park under a nice big oak tree that's alive, that's living. Or do it at the night when the stars are out and it's quiet and there's a cool breeze. Do it by yourself. Take your paper, write it. What would it be like? What would I have been proud of when I get to the end of my life at the deathbed? I would have been proud if I did 1, 2, 3 on one paper. On the other paper, am I proud of what I'm doing? Am I surviving life or I'm not surviving life? Okay? And protect what you guys have. Protect what you want from people and things, from the environment around you. If it's not healthy, get rid of it. Okay? One day your life is going to flash before your eyes. Will it be worth watching? Are you going to have fun with it? You're going to enjoy this? Okay? Ask yourself that. If it was a movie, would it be a happy ending or a very sad ending? If your life was a movie, or if it was a book, you're going to be excited to get to the end?
Yeah.
Or as you get to the end, it gets sadder and sadder.
Is it going to be a thriller or a horror movie?
You know what I mean? And so, choose one thing, guys. This is an exercise for you. Choose one thing that's going to make you feel alive, that's going to make you feel like you're living. It doesn't matter if going on a trip, going to a restaurant, going to see this person, telling this person whatever you think of them. Okay? And do it. And the last thing is don't wait until you're dying to start living. Don't wait until you're dying to start living. Okay? Don't wait until you're dying to start living, guys. You want to add anything else?
Man, you said it all.
I'm going to leave you with one thing, guys. And it's a monologue, okay, on the deathbed. If you're hearing this, it means you're still breathing. You're still here. But I want to talk to you from the place you will eventually reach, the end. Your last day, the moment when it's just you and the life you've lived. Okay? Let me be honest. I wish I had lived differently. I wish I hadn't played it so safe. I wish I hadn't spent so many years just grinding, checking boxes, trying to keep up. I made it through. I survived, but I didn't live. Okay? I worked jobs I didn't love. I stayed in places that drained me. Smiled when I was dying inside, waited for the weekend, waited for the right time. Waited and waited until there was no time left. I said no to things I should have said yes to. I held back love because I was afraid. I traded presence for productivity. And now all I want is another chance to feel the sun on my face. Laugh with people I love, do something that scares me. Create something that matters. To feel alive just once more. But I can't go back. But you can. Okay? So please, stop surviving. Stop counting the days. Start living them. Don't let your life be a story about endurance. Make it a story of courage, joy, presence, love, and freedom. You still have time, but I don't. Live while you're alive. That's it. I gotta clock out now.
Powerful.
All right, guys, that's it. Episode 47, Sharpen Your Soul Podcast. Peace out.